so pleased that for the first of our GT races, we have this dry track, because these are cars that you want to see using the car to its maximum around the circuit, to tame the car around the circuit, and that's what we're about to see. Bear in mind, we've got GT4 cars now, we've got GT3 cars coming up afterwards, so they really are the beasts that need to be contained around this circuit.
Absolutely right. One of the non-starters, Chen Chi-ho, whose Ginetta had all sorts of problems yesterday. Another one we've lost is Zhu Zhuyu's Mercedes, which I think picked up some damage. 33 of Lu Shiren, another Ginetta that had all sorts of problems yesterday, and Li Shenyu's KTM that had at least 2 incidents and had quite a bit of rear-end damage yesterday. So we kept making the point about the need to keep out of trouble. Nobody listened to it yesterday. That's why in certainly a couple of races today, all bar one, yes, this is race 4, with all races have had cars missing after pre-practice and qualifying, so it's whittled away the entry a little bit.
So Adam Christodoulou will lead the field towards the Macau hairpin.
Is he going to win?
So I really like Adam, and he's a nice guy,
yes,
a really good driver.
True.
And I'm going to say yes,
okay,
but that is a biased opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, starting at the front has to help, and the fact that he is such a accomplished driver has got to stand him in good stead. But I think the one to watch could be the BMW of Liang Jiatong, last year's winner. And those BMWs have been really good, not everywhere, because the balance of performance does matter, but in European GT4 racing, the BMW M4 has been a very rapid car indeed. So with his track knowledge, he could be making a big impact here.
8 laps in prospect for GT4 cars in the Greater Bay Area GT Cup, and the 2 Lotus on the front of the field gave everybody else something to think about for today's race. Very, very impressive performance that by both of the Lotus drivers. And now it is going to be fascinating seeing the inter-team battle between the 2 cars on the front row of the grid. So pick your favourite. Not surprisingly, they are all beautifully liveried.
Yes.
Bright and colourful designs for this weekend. Some interesting concepts on livery as well in the field for this one, and hopefully as the course of the race continues we'll get a chance to have a good close look at many of these incredibly bright. You need sunglasses to look at some of these cars, but it does look fantastic, doesn't it? As the Lotus now head down towards the final few turns on the circuit to get this 8-lap race underway for GT4 cars.
So warmth being put into the Michelin tyres. Of course, much of European GT4 racing runs on Pirellis, but Michelin is the appointed tyre supplier here. And so the back of the grid scampers up towards Black Sands. They get themselves now in that Noah's Ark 2x2 formation, ready for the rolling start. The cars in a moment will emerge from the right-hander of our band. The safety car will have peeled in by then, the pace car as it is, and then we will be in business. Lamborghini Urus into the pits. It was a Lamborghini that won in GT4 last year. And Christodoulou then on pole position brings the field up towards the timing line. The lights will change, and so the Greater Bay Area GT Cup for GT4 cars is underway. Adam Christodoulou floors the throttle, but Lokai Law on the outside line goes with him. Liang Jiatong, number 1 BMW, tries to crowd across to the inside line as well. They dive down through reservoir for the first time, and the Lotuses are still side by side, and Lokai Law is going to have the inside line coming towards Mandarin next. On that inside line, Adam Christodoulou stands his ground on the outside, but I think he's going to drop back as Liang Jiatong goes through third, and the Lotuses are nose to tail, and it looks like Lokai Law has gone into the lead.
Yeah, good work by Lokai Law to get the drop on the pole position car. Adam Christodoulou on the run down towards Lisboa is on the wide line on the outside. He could be compromised there. That was within a centimetre. Goodness me.
That was Hanley Chow diving up the inside of Liang Jiatong, and there was no way he was going to get the car stopped, but he managed somehow to miss the back of Adam Christodoulou's car by a gnat's whisker. Adam may be completely unaware of all of that. When he watches it back later on, he'll have kittens, because that could have been a disaster, and it missed by, look at this, millimetres. Look, There's no way that Liang Chao is going to slow the car down, and how close to disaster was that? He's way up the escape road, and he will fall to the back of the pack. So Liang Jiatong survived it all, and I bet he was waiting for the bang as well.
But you're quite right, Adam may well be completely unaware of that. He may have seen a little flash of white in the mirror at some stage, but that was so close. It couldn't have been any closer.
So
we can breathe again.
Indeed, and so also can Law Kai Law, because he's in charge at the moment. So it was worth sitting his ground, wasn't it, on the outside, going out of reservoir to have the inside line for Mandarin. But Adam Christodoulou now will be thinking about where he might be able to make the move. Of course, the last thing that Lotus, that Toro Racing want, are for these two to trade blows and neither finish. So they've got to be respectful of each other, but equally, they desperately want to be a race winner. Second place for the team is all very good for a press release, but it's not good for your ego, it's not good for the CV. So Law Kai Law leads Adam Christodoulou, and Liang Jiatong really struggling to get the BMW around Melco hairpin.
Well, it wasn't a good approach. I think he was a little bit too late. He got a little bit of a wiggle on the approach to the Melco hairpin, and that compromised the entry, and therefore really compromised the exit. I thought it was going to be a three-point turn job.
It was looking close to scraping the wall, if nothing else, wasn't it? So, in fourth place behind him, you've got the best of the Ginettas now, after that little bit of a short shuffle around at Lisboa. But the two Lotus Emiras then come up at the end of lap number 1, with Law Kai Law leading Adam Christodoulou. So we were expecting Adam to be the race leader. He was, but only briefly, and now he's got to try and rebuild the race as they dive through the ultra-fast reservoir down towards Mandarin. Look at the gap they've pulled already over Liang Jiatong in third place. Fourth, it is the Ginetta in the hands of Lokar Chun, and Adam Christodoulou, he's on his toes, he's looking to try to make that move. So, tyres up to temperature. Is he going to try to dive bomb down to Lisboa? He's in the wheel tracks, he's in the slipstream, fades to the inside, goes back to the outside, back to the inside, but Law Kai Law knows what's coming, fends him off.
He certainly does, he made his intentions known pretty early on the run down towards Mandarin. Just pulled out, he feinted to one side, had a look down the inside at Lisboa, but there was no way through there. But the two of them very much in a class of their own, aren't they? They've pulled away from the BMW in third place. Maybe a part of that was that slightly messy negotiation of the Melco hairpin for the BMW, but we'll see what Liang Jiatong can do about bringing down the gap. But at the moment, it's all about Lotus.
It is indeed, and I think part of the problem, you could argue, from the other teams is that because these cars are so new, nobody really knows what to do with them in terms of the balance of performance, and whether they've had a good BOP break, discuss. It's hidden by the fact, in a way, you've got two really quick drivers anyway, and Law Kai Law just extending that margin a little bit on this lap, because although Adam Christodoulou did an absolute best sector 1, Law Kai Law absolute best sectors 2 and 3, and the pendulum swinging advantage Lotus number 75, isn't it?
It certainly is, the race leader, Law Kai Law and Adam Christodoulou going 2 together as 1 to the final sections of the top part of the circuit. That's the left-hander at Donna Maria, and then down towards the Melco hairpin. Adam Christodoulou noticeably to the eye, that much further back this time. Might see if we see the entry for the BMW this time, to see if it's just a handful or whether it was a unique experience last time. It was, but it's a cumbersome exit from the corner, isn't it?
It is, and that's brought Lokar Chun's Ginetta right into the mix. There was a real fight on, a genuine fight for third place now, as the two Lotus Emiras come through again as 1, and for third place, Liang Jiatong hanging on to the position, but he's got Lokar Chun and then Kelvin Leung behind him. The BMWs, you're right, they do look a handful around the hairpin, whereas these very svelte Lotus Emiras come through building the lead all the time. Fastest lap to Law Kai Law, and he's now 0.6 of a second ahead of Adam Christodoulou, who's trying to work out where he can make a move, if at all possible.
Now, this is where he began to note his intentions last time on the run down towards Mandarin. Is he going to be close enough to do that once again? Is he going to make it slightly less show busy and just keep on the same line and then think about the move down at Lisboa? Well, he's right on the tail. He once again has a look on the outside line, but he can't. There's not close enough. Law Kai Law turns in first to Lisboa, then the run towards San Francisco. See how the cars bounce. They do look nimble and need to handle those corners, and this is where you need the nimble qualities of a car. When the track all of a sudden gets a little bit more narrow, very much more twisty and very demanding as well.
So Adam Christodoulou again doing an absolute best in the first sector, so he's certainly brave going through that part of the circuit down to Lisboa. And Lokai Law, who knows the circuit a little bit better, of course, is the man hanging on to the race lead at the moment. So these two cars, with Lokai Law being a pretty late addition to the entry, and he's responding in style by leading the race and trying to build that gap. In third place, Liang Jiatong is ahead of Lokai Chun, BMW from Ginetta. It is Kelvin Leung's BMW fifth, and then in sixth place now is Li Yanhan in another of the BMWs.
Lokai Law is really good on this part of the circuit, isn't he? Through the twisty section, Adam Christodoulou drops back a little bit at this point. They come through Police and down towards Moorish. Around Moorish they go, and then into Donna Maria, the long left-hander. Advantage Lokai Law, the race leader, car number 75. Two Lotus at the front of the field, then a gap before we've got the BMW. Let's see what this is like this time for the BMW, which is now even further back. Just comes into view now, turns into the corner. We don't see the BMW go around the hairpin because we're back with our race leaders, and Adam Christodoulou looks to be a little bit further back here. The tyres squeal as they make their way around the final few bends of the gear circuit here at Macau. Lotus, what's the gap going to be? It was 0.6 of a second at the end of the previous lap. They come up to complete another lap now. Is the gap going to have extended a little bit? It looks like it has to the eye. 0.68 of a second, so still 0.6 between the two of them on the run down towards Mandarin.
So it's gone up by hundreds, hasn't it? Lokai Law, the leader then. He's been a Porsche specialist these last couple of seasons in Carrera Cup Asia, and has done the old Porsche Super Cup race. But again, Adam Christodoulou here is really quick, and this time looks even more committed, doesn't he? So he thinks about the inside line. There's a gap, but is he brave enough to take it? He's not. If that were the last lap, he might go for it. All the time he's trying to force a mistake out of Lokai Law, but it's not coming yet.
Adam Christodoulou is like a missile through Mandarin every time. That's when he gets the advantage. He knows that at the end of Mandarin, it's the run down towards Lisboa, and that is where you set up the overtaking manoeuvre. But he's got such pace through Mandarin, and it's a very, very quick corner.
And for somebody that doesn't know Macau as well as others, he is doing a very impressive job. I mean, look, Lotuses have gone. Find me a third place car. Liang Jiatong, best of the rest, but he's in a different league. The Lotuses are like a GT4 Plus, aren't they? They're so far ahead.
Yeah, just going through there.
Lokai Chun's yellow Ginetta in fourth place. Kelvin Leung's BMW fifth. So really it is between the two Lotus now to see who's going to come out on top. They are working lap 4 out of the 8, and damage, look, to the fourth place car. So Lokai Chun has either hit something or a bonnet pin has broken. And if the air gets underneath that, it could rip it from the car. So that would be a bit of a concern. Maybe the officials will take an interest in that. And
that would result in a black and orange flag being shown and the car required to come in, because, yeah, if the bonnet gets loose, if it gets any looser than it is now, it could be a question of safety for that machine. As the leaders make their way down towards the Melco. I always say down towards the Melco hairpin. You can see it's going downhill. And they negotiate it in a very nimble style in the Lotus. Then we've got that long gap before we've got the BMW in third place that wasn't able to negotiate the Melco hairpin quite as nimbly as it would like.
But it's advantage Lokai Law, isn't it? Despite Adam Christodoulou being good at the start of the lap, the bulk of it goes the way of Lokai Law, which is interesting given that Adam out-qualified him. But at the moment, he's struggling for an answer against number 75. And there you can see the damage. Now look, it's starting to peel back more. The faster it goes, the more air gets underneath. It's probably okay to survive, but I'm waiting to see if there's going to be a black and orange flag offered to that Ginetta. And a red flag is being shown. Red flag is shown, and that's why, because there is mayhem on the run down the hill. There's a BMW facing the wrong way. The track is blocked, and so the race is suspended. It's not stopped, it's suspended.
There's a lot of fluid down there as well.
You're right. So, which is the BMW that's facing the wrong way? That is Li Yanhan's car, isn't it? 39.
Liu Che-ren.
Ah,
yeah.
Is it?
Is it 30?
No, Li Yanhan.
Li Yanhan,
yeah.
sorry.
So he's the one that's presumably got it wrong, hit the barrier, put the liquid down and spun, and nobody can get past him.
Not the first time we've had a circuit completely blocked by GT cars here at Macau. It's always a bit spectacular when you see the camera shot pick up the completely blocked track.
So he got it wrong coming out of Donna Maria, hits the barrier. Now he might have had a bit of help in that because there was another car close by, but then he ends up in the middle of the road and suddenly the car park forms, doesn't it?
It does, there is no way.
Boom!
Oh.
That was the Porsche cannoning in the Cayman of Zheng Jianfang, who just could not stop and ploughed into the back of one of the two Mercedes there.
Not really what you expect to see as you come towards the Macau hairpin.
No, at the hairpin, yes.
Yeah.
On the run down to it.
Yeah.
But that's a really odd place to... I mean, like I say, unless there was some help there that triggered the incident for Li Yanhan, but it's not the obvious place to have an incident. And there you can see the Mercedes damage as well. This might take a bit of sorting.
It may well take a little while to get things back underway. Race suspension, it's the first one we've had of the day. We've been able to deal with everything else that we were given with safety car interventions, but not so when you have a completely blocked track.
So it will be a safety car restart, because what will most likely happen is they'll be brought either to the pit lane or to the grid, and then they'll resume the race from there.
That Lotus looks so good from every angle.
Yeah, and it's not a car that we've seen of anything really thus far. It's pretty much its race debut. So lessons being learned, but you get the feeling that they would be very popular on GT4 grids next year, especially given the shape and a generous BOP.
That's a lot of fluid that's gone down there, and
it's a wreck Mercedes as well, isn't it?
It is a very poorly Mercedes. What a shame! What a big shame. And see, already they're dealing with the fluid that's gone down before they've even got the cars begin to be sorted out.
I reckon that liquid has come out of the Porsche, because we know that Porsche radiators are at the front, and if you think about the force with which Zheng Jianfang hit. So there is the BMW. Now, has the Mercedes picked up damage already by being involved in that accident? I think it has. Although 17 and 19, here comes the Porsche. Bang, straight into the back.
Yeah.
And
a nudge into the BMW as well.
I think the two Mercedes sort of incurred damage, secondary impact, thanks to the Porsche arriving on the scene.
What a shame. And that was, quite a reasonable impact from the Porsche, wasn't it?
Yeah. So 19, William Cheung's car, is the one that didn't seem that badly damaged until it all kicked off around him. Terence Say's Mercedes number 17, I think, has got going again. But the Porsche of Zheng Jianfang, that's going to have quite a bit of frontal to the pit lane. And we await confirmation as to how the race resumption will be played. You can see the speedy dry now being swept, but all of the coolant out of the front of the Porsche Cayman of Zheng Jianfang being attended to. Barriers have been checked, and there seems to be a huge amount of damage to William Cheung's Team TRC Mercedes that really you wouldn't have expected when you saw the initial drama, but lots of damage there is. There are the cars then in the pit lane, and they are being put into order. But as I say, we do have this discrepancy with some having done more laps than others, the leading 5, because it was those behind the 6th place car that couldn't get through. So number 75, Lord Kai Law, the race leader. You could argue it's not going to make much difference to the race anyway, because those cars were so dominant, but it does prevent the man that's 5th or 6th, for example, from attacking anybody ahead.
In previous years on the Macau Grand Prix weekend, this would be a point at which we would take the camera crew and appear down in pit lane and maybe have a chat to a few of the drivers. And one of the great things is that there's a big screen that you can see from down in pit lane, and they can show the replays, and then the drivers can talk you through exactly what happened. That's happened in previous years. We don't have the full television director and all of his team this weekend for the first weekend. We will do next weekend. So when we have these sort of situations, we will get the chance to get a unique insight into the occurrences on circuit, just by the drivers being able to see what happened. I would love, the reason I started this sentence, to be down in the pit lane now and get Adam Christodoulou to explain from his point of view what happened on lap 1.
So yes, it will be quite revealing. That was the Mercedes, was it not, of Jason Can. 99 Low Car Chun. So drivers sitting patiently, awaiting confirmation as to what goes on next. But the race was suspended about 18 minutes ago. So it's been quite a long wait.
It is. There was a 50-minute gap between a GT4 race and GT3 race, and I wonder whether that was to allow a short lunch break for the marshals, or because they know that generally when there's a GT incident on circuit, it potentially could take a little while to clear it up. That's the BMW that we've been watching around the Macau hairpin, because it hasn't looked quite as nimble as...
No, but Liang Jiatong doesn't look too displeased with life, even though he's being outpaced by the Lotus. He's still
at Macau,
keen to get going. Exactly. Miguel Lai, another Macau driver with the Audi R8, all smiles. Miguel Lai, who is currently to be found 11th in the order.
The weather forecast was that it was going to be windy, and judging by that view of the tree and looking out the commentary box as well, looking at the trees over on the far side at the paddock, it is pretty windy this afternoon, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's picked up, hasn't it? It was very still this morning when we walked in.
It's probably helped to dry the bits of damp circuit out. The temperature has risen. It's nowhere near as warm as it 2 days ago here at Macau. It was unseasonably 28, 29 degrees, really hot. Blue sky, sunshine. Yesterday, a bit more normal, a little bit cooler, and a little bit overcast as well, down to sort of 25 degrees. Today, now we've got the sunshine, we've had the rain this morning, it's windy, so we are having a whole host of weather conditions thrown at us so far this weekend. 55, it's the car of Kenny Chun. You only need to see their eyes to know that they're all smiling.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
And 84 is the Wang Wai Hong MP Racing Toyota GL Supra. Again, these are cars that have got a good pedigree. You know, they've been winning in Europe, winning in the GT World Challenge Asia GT4 class, and in the French Championship. French GT is purely for GT4 cars. And Toyota's getting faster and faster all the time, and Toyota with big plans for GT3 and GT4 racing for the next few seasons. So a rather depleted field awaits with 3 more laps to run, the release from the pit lane.
3 more laps to run as it stands for the top 5 cars.
That's the KTM, the surviving KTM of Ao Chi Weng. With the bodywork, you push it up, you push it forward. Still getting in and out of those cars. Not the work of a moment, but it's quite a spectacular sight. And we had, I think, one of the cars yesterday with the bodywork flapping in the session. It was open at the spur hairpin we saw.
And I think we made the comment that could be expensive, because I can't imagine that engineering comes too cheaply for a replacement. KTM have always been very cutting edge on design and engineering, haven't they? Motorcycles and now cars.
And the T in KTM, or part of the T, still races them in the GT2 series. Hubert Trunkenpolz, it was his uncle who was the Trunkenpolz in the founding company, and he still races the cars in GT2 spec. Same shape, but slightly different specification.
There aren't many race circuits in the world that have a tree at the end of pit lane, but Macau is unique, isn't it?
The race will not be resumed. All the cars to Parc Ferme, the race will not be resumed.
I did wonder.
Law Kai Law takes the race win from Adam Christodoulou, and I'm afraid with the time taken, the race is not going to be restarted. That's a real shame.
It is, but we did get some real highlights in that race. It was a great battle between, you said at the start of the race before we got it underway, it's going to be fascinating, this battle between the two teammates. Each one of the Lotus drivers will want to come out on top, and that was exactly what we were given, a supreme battle between the two Lotuses. Also, the interesting race that we had for the BMW, car number 1, the winner from last year, Liang Tong, and we will have a podium. It will follow. Only 5 laps completed out of an 8-lap race, but I think, David, pretty inevitable that the race was not going to have quite enough time to resume.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a hard one, isn't it? Race control have access to far more information than we do in a situation like this. They can look at the state of the barriers, they can look at the state of the circuit, they will know the time taken in regridding and all of that, and then also the resumption of the race and how long that would take, and the need to keep the timetable on track. But it is a shame, come what may, especially when people come from, like Adam Christodoulou, you know, 12-hour plane ride away. But these things do happen. It is one of the perils of street circuit racing. So Lord Kai Law is a happy man. He takes the race win, and Adam Christodoulou is his runner-up. So Adam Christodoulou, despite the fact he can't fight for the win,
he looks
still
pretty
smiling.
happy.
Yeah, he's content.
He's had a great car this weekend. He's had a great battle. He congratulates the winner and teammate, and just kind of got the impression from Adam with his social media tweets during the week that he was just really happy to be involved in this event. He'd be even happier when he sees the video of how he got away with that.
Well, yes, that could have been a huge
Maybe
incident.
That's why he's so happy.
Yeah, quite.
Just
He
had a
survived.
replay.
Yeah. So Lord Kai Law the winner, and Liang Tong there for the Rover Motor Oil BMW team, taking 3rd place. So drivers will go to the podium and then to the press conference. We still have, of course, another GT race to look forward to, and that's for the even faster, even more spectacular GT3 spec of car, and that will be next. Following the GT race, there will be our 2nd TCR Asia race, and then the Macau Formula 4 race to round out the day. So 3 more races still to come, and the winning drivers will go to the podium very shortly. The GT part of the Macau programme has been a very popular addition over the last few seasons, with Darilo Young being the first winner of the GT Cup. Kaita Sawa won it for a couple of years. Eduardo Mortara had 3 on the bounce, in addition to winning 2 back-to-back Formula 3 Grand Prix. Then Mauro Engel had 2 wins, then Lawrence Van Thor had a win, Eduardo Mortara again, then Augusto Farfus, and then Raffaele Marciello won the GT Cup. The last time it had the FIA World Cup badge on it, and then the 3 so-called local races in recent years, Yi Hong Lee, Darilo Young and Mauro Engel won last year's. Even though it wasn't an FIA badged race, he was still eager to come, and Mercedes eager to support the event. So Mauro Engel triumphed after a great first lap battle with Raffaele Marciello.
Looking forward to that next weekend.
Definitely.
World-class drivers competing in world-class machinery, run by world-class teams here at Macau, celebrating 70th Macau Grand Prix this weekend. Look forward to that mouth-watering lineup for next weekend, not just for GT cars but for touring cars and single-seaters as well, with the return of the FIA Formula 3 cars, which are pretty incredibly quick bits of kit around the gear circuit here at Macau. The wind is getting up even more now, so the weather forecast was right to say it was going to be a breezy afternoon. The only cars that I think that may well affect significantly will be the light and nimble Formula 4 cars at the end of the day. They've got the longest race of any, over 12 laps for the final race, plus the big build up to the starting grid. What we're waiting for now, as you can see in beautiful sunshine here at Macau, is the podium presentation, which will come up after a shortened race for the GT4 cars in the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. Making their way over towards the Parc Ferme area to weigh in, and then make their way over towards the podium presentation, technical check area for the cars and drivers alike. And although not the most ideal finish to the race, we didn't go the full race distance. However, we got plenty of action during those 5 laps.
We certainly did. And there's more to come when you see GT3 cars in a moment. And now Christodoulou sees it, so let me look at that
again. This is great.
Seriously?
Superb television direction, this. Absolutely brilliant to pick it up.
Can we drop?
Wow.
Blimey.
He's not smiling as much
no,
now,
he's
is
not
he?
Now, is he? He's just realised what that could have ensued. Blimey.
That's incredible.
Fantastic. Christodoulou then sees the pictures of that first lap scare. Not scary for him, but scary for everybody else. He was completely oblivious, probably for the best.
That does answer the question. Did he know what happened? No, he did not.
Absolutely. So the drivers will go through the weight check, shout the car in conjunction with the weight of the car. So former Formula Renault champion, star Mazda champion, Christodoulou now goes to the podium. Lord Kailor steps forward. And he is weighed. The scales produce the information. And so, yes, the podium coming up in a few moments' time.
It's my highlight of the day, watching Christodoulou doing what we said. Love to see his face when he sees it back. And we did. We saw it. How cool was that?
And Liang Jiatong, last year's winner of the Greater Bay Area GT Cup for GT4 cars, also making his way towards the podium around the back of the huge permanent building for all the Grand Prix Corporation. There's a new media centre just to the left as you walk through that gate that sits on top of the GT garages, so it moves all the media out of the race control building, which is probably a good thing, really, because it's not the biggest of buildings, but they have their own self-contained structure these days. So it is Lord Kailor who wins the Greater Bay Area GT4 Cup ahead of Christodoulou and Liang Jiatong. Lokar Chun fourth ahead of Kelvin Leung, and then William Chung, despite damage, being classified in 6th place. This result, by the way, taken at 3 laps. 7th, Terence Say ahead of Lau Kim Ho, and then it was Brian Lai next from Zheng Jiafeng and Yang Chun Fei. Kan Che Wai in 12th and Kenny Chung in 13th place ahead of Han Li Chao and Miguel Lei. Patricia Ou 16th from Wang Wei Hong, and then Ao Chi Wang in 16th place. So it's a real shame that the race had to be ended, but with the necessity to do more track maintenance and of course to get 3 further races in before the track has to be handed back at the end of the day to Macau motorists for them to go about their business, perhaps understandable. So we'll go to the podium in a few moments' time. The dignitaries are being assembled. The trophy girls, I can see, are being made ready also to add colour and flair to the celebrations, and the 3 drivers are on their way from the back of the paddock as well. So the podium comes shortly for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. It is a Lotus 1-2. And perhaps we're now going to see a resurgence of the Lotus name in sports car racing, echoing what we had in the 1960s in GT-style competitions with the Elites and the Elans that followed.
And if they could do it in that colour scheme, I'd be very happy.
Or a red and gold as well. Retro Lotus liveries,
yeah,
please.
We could do that.
Yeah,
we could do that.
Bright yellow cigarette one, not quite so sure about, but
I still quite liked it.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Certainly the
with the blue.
That's true.
Works well.
That's true with the lettering. Yeah.
Yeah.
But red and gold or black and gold, definitely.
This
or
is why.
Indeed, British Racing green and yellow.
This is why. It's the fluid, I think, more than anything else, isn't it?
And of course, that was something that affected the timetable last year, wasn't it? Really affected the motorbike races last year.
Yes, it did. Yeah, significantly as well.
Yeah.
For the return of motorcycles at Macau.
But we will have those next week. We'll have GT3 on track shortly once the pit lane opens and as the podium lies silent, then the trophy girls come forward and the Greater Bay Area GT Cup for GT4 cars, the podium celebration, can get underway any moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 70th Macau Grand Prix. Greater Bay Area GT Cup GT4 trophy presentation ceremony. First of all, let's welcome the top 3 finishers to the podium. The second runner-up, we have number 1, Liang Jiatong from China. The first runner-up, number 88, Crystal Dudu Adam Robert from the UK. And the winner is number 75, Luo Kai Luo from China. Congratulations to our drivers. And now I would like to invite the guests to present the laurel and trophy to our top 3 winners. First of all, let's welcome Mr. Buddy Lam, Executive Vice President, Corporate Office of Galaxy Entertainment Group, to present the 3rd place laurel and trophy to Liang Jiatong from China. Congratulations. And I would like to also invite Mr. Lam to present the first runner-up laurel and trophy to Crystal Dudu Adam Robert. Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Lam. And now I would like to invite Mr. Poon Wang Kun, President of the Sports Bureau and Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the laurel and trophy to our winner, Luo Kai Luo from China. Congratulations. Would the guests please gather at the center, and to our top 3 drivers, please reach to the top of the podium, gather to the center and take a photo together, please. Thank you. Please look to the front. Please look to the front and take a photo together. Hold up your trophy. Congratulations. Thank you, our guests. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you, the Greek girls. Would drivers please remain at where you are? Thank you, Greek girls, because it's now the champagne time. Champagne is here, and our drivers would like to share the glory moment with our audience. Champagne shower time! Woo! Congratulations to our top 3 winners of Greater Bay Area GT Cup GT4. Thank you. Congratulations once again to our top 3 winners.
Bring the champagne back, yeah.
我们算是把我们的经典时刻复制了一下啊。对。
In front.
Smells like a victory.
Yeah. Front.
Yeah, haze of victory.
Come to the front, guys. Front. Little bit front.
我要掉下来了怎么办？
Okay. 我看到你跟艾伦一起。